Welcome to this week's edition of the Beacon of Light podcast. So we're here with Brett. Can I say your last name? Mm-hmm. Belo. And I'm just going to set this one up.
It's Baloo.
You know, I've been calling you Belo since forever. Yeah.
I don't know. Baloo.
How fun was that? Okay. With Brett Baloo.
There you
right? Go. And just kind of set this up. Brett used to work where you used to work. And I went to that place, a big old steel making place. You're working somewhere in the offices, doing some kind of office stuff.
Correct.
But you had an alcohol problem.
I did.
And so you came to treatment.
That was late 2019.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in treatment for
6 months, roughly.
Got your shit together.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not even. Was it last Christmas?
Yeah.
It was last Christmas, right?
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brett graduated our program. Life was grand. You're dating a gal then, and now this woman is your wife?
Correct.
Okay, so, but I could not get a hold of Brett because I want to find out how you doing, right? And it just wasn't happening. And so this was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve last year.
I got this idea that came to me from someone who said, you know, these people are going to be home Christmas Eve. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to. You know, it's Christmas Eve. I want to go home, put some wood in my wood-burning thing, and make some, I don't know.
Hot cocoa and
just
marshmallows.
Just watch the fire crackle when it's a blizzard outside, you know, that kind of thing. No, I don't want to go. Yeah, you kind of need to. So I go knock on your door.
Yeah, correct.
Now, you get to know that walking up to your door, I was nervous like you don't even know. First of all, does he still live here?
Yeah.
If he doesn't, it's Christmas Eve, what are you doing on my front door? Or, you know, am I going to get, like, shot? I don't know, man. I'm really...
honestly.
I'm nervous. Describe that event to me.
Surprising. So, I mean, to be honest, I'll admit it today, but to be honest, I was ignoring your calls and the texts from Beacon.
Wait, you were or you...
I was. Because Beacon had tried reaching out to me several times over that couple of years, right? But I was drinking again.
That's why you were ignoring.
So I was straight up ignoring. I didn't want to face
that.
I didn't want to tell somebody that I had relapsed. I didn't want to I didn't even want to admit it to myself that I had, you know, I wasn't drinking constantly, I wasn't drinking daily, but I was using the alcohol to manage the stress in my life at the time. It could have been 2 weeks, it could have been a month, but in between, you know, I was using. So I didn't want to admit it. So every time I got a text or a call from Beacon, I was like, nope. Because that was a shame, right? I felt shame that I had gone through this program and now I was back to doing what I was in this program for doing. So you showing up Christmas Eve was awesome in the fact that, but then I lied to you.
Right to my face.
Right to your face. But that seriously put it in my mind that, oh, crap, you know, I am back to my old ways. So it made me start thinking of what I was doing, if that makes sense.
To who?
It makes sense to me.
Well, you said it made me think of what I was doing.
Yeah, to myself, to my family, to everybody around me. It made me really stop and think. You know, when you walked, you know, when we exchanged and you left, it was a somber moment for me. Like, oh, and it may sound weird, but it was like, crap, I'm busted. He knows, like for some reason that went in my mind. Oh crap, Tony knows.
So what if Tony knows?
Yeah.
I mean, what's he going to do? I mean,
again, it was the shame, the pride, I didn't want to fail, but I did. I didn't want to admit that I failed, to you especially, or to anybody else associated with this program. I didn't want to admit that I had failed. And it's more of a man's pride, probably.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. So that opened my eyes. So yeah, I was glad you stopped by. It was good to see, but I had been ignoring Beacon to that point.
Yeah.
So you're saying you had the feeling it was for a reason.
You're the first place I went.
Yeah.
I had a list.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Well, I do, I suppose. But that's, we do a lot of things different. Got something in my throat. We do a lot of things different at Beacon.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, because since you started, and we've made various changes. One of them, if you came to me today and said, hey, I want to come to your facility and get treatment. Okay, but you got to have a sponsor.
Yeah.
You got to have your mentor. And that's something you're not prepared to do or that you don't have, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Then this isn't the facility for you. Because I don't care where somebody goes to treatment. It doesn't matter where. I mean, it does, but in the sense of the context of this conversation, it doesn't matter where you go, right? You're going to graduate that program at some point.
Yes.
And for me, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when it really that's when your training really begins.
Yeah.
Because when you leave, now there's no accountability issues other than only just with yourself.
Yep.
So what we're doing now, your wife's name?
Jennifer.
Again? Jennifer. Dude.
Yeah.
You really did outdo your punt coverage on that one. Really.
Mm-hmm.
She is,
Yeah.
I mean, just wow.
Yeah.
And he was dating this woman when you were here last,
Correct.
right? You guys worked down the hall?
Yeah.
To make
So we worked in the
excuses.
same office.
You had a crush on her,
Yeah.
You'd make up reasons to go to her office, love when she would come to
Yep.
yours.
Yep.
I know. But I like the fact that we reach out to people. That's one of the things amongst many that is different at Beacon Recovery. You're with me forever, right? You're never going to
Yeah.
shake me. Unless you flat out tell me, you know what, stop.
Yeah.
But you were getting the text and you were getting the phone calls. Did it make you feel good that we were reaching out to you, that we actually cared enough about?
Honestly, at that point, no, because I was drinking again. So it was more of a, I guess it made me feel good, but in the same token, it was shame.
Feeling. Yeah.
Oh crap. It wasn't Beacon. It was oh crap. They know. Like, in my mind,
Yeah. But in the sense, though, this is good for me.
Yeah.
I've never, to hear, because it does go into your mind.
Yep.
When you get those, even though you're ignoring, right? You're like, oh, I'm using.
I'm using, yeah.
And they have to know that the reason I'm not responding is because I am.
Yeah.
But when you came back, so, okay. Don't know why. Well, I do. It was weird for me to give my card to your wife.
Yeah.
You were standing right there.
Yeah.
Did that freak you out because she knew what the hell was up?
It didn't freak me out. I actually, there was a sigh of kind of like, okay. Because she
was sick of your shit.
Yeah, 100%. And so it was almost a sigh of relief that you came, gave her the card.
Did you had to have known she was going to say something.
Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, I knew.
I would have think that might have pissed you off a little bit.
No,
I didn't give you my card. I gave it to your wife, dude.
Which was to me that was
Perfect.
awesome. To get her involved, to give her somebody to reach out to.
Oh.
Because I wasn't going to do it. Bottom line, I wasn't going to do it.
You weren't going to reach out?
Probably not. I probably, and just because I'm prideful, like, I wouldn't have done it myself until
you had to.
I had to. So by giving that to her and giving her that option, if you will, to, hey, reach out to it, because she was tired of it, and it had been going, and so I thought it was awesome, and so I didn't get mad. I was almost a relief, like,
when you saw me give her that card.
Okay, because if she reaches out,
when she did,
it's not me admitting. An addict's mind is so, which all of us know, we'll make up excuses, we'll think ways that shouldn't be thought because, but in my mind at that point it was, okay, if she calls, then I go back. It wasn't me admitting fault. In a way, I know it sounds dumb today, but in my mind a year ago, that was legit,
Made it easier.
It made it easier for me to...
Because you don't have to come forward and say, hey, Tony, I really fucked up.
Correct. Yep.
She called me 3 days later.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And she was just fit to be tied.
Yep.
Crying. I'm talking... we were on the phone, but this was a kind of cry where she had snot coming out of her nose. I mean, those kind of cries where you just... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she just loves you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. And so...
and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
For a man to have.
Yep.
You're so blessed.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So we got you back into treatment.
Yes. January 16th.
But what I want to do right now, Brett, is I want to go back to the very beginning of your alcohol issues. How old?
Alcohol was introduced in my teenage years. Teenagers out having fun type thing.
With your buddies?
With my buddies.
High school
parties, stuff like that.
The keg parties, right?
Yeah. Alcohol was never an issue. That was on occasion. That it wasn't. I wasn't an alcoholic in high school or my teenage years.
You partied like the rest of it.
Right. So introduced to it then, but for the better part of my 20s, alcohol wasn't a thing. I was active in the church. I was raising 3 kids. I was married to my first wife at that time. We moved from Texas to California. So fast forward through my early 20s into my 20s into my early 30s. We moved back to Utah in 2010 from California, where I'd moved around for work at that point. Moved back. Started 2012. My wife and I separated. I got in with the wrong crowd. At that point, I'm single. I'm at the bar all the time. Still not using alcohol as a coping mechanism at that early stage. The divorce drug on forever, lawyers and money, and all that stuff. That's when I started using alcohol to cope with the stress, all of that stuff.
Are you, this time where you're going to the bars and whatnot, your drinking is taking place at the bars? Or
Yes.
is it taking place, this is just when you're going out?
Yep.
But at some point, it graduated from, is that right?
Correct.
To where you're drinking
Daily, every night.
during the day?
Yep. Well, not during the day, but after work, first thing I do is get home, boom, throw it back. And
Are you thinking about it during the day? Because I used to.
Not at that point, but it progressively got worse. So then I'm single. I I've got a bunch of stress, bunch of financial stress, divorce,
Yeah.
kids back and forth, all the stuff that goes along with that life. So then I'm drinking every night, and then it becomes, I'm going to say a year or so, I would say 2014, it becomes a coping mechanism, it almost becomes a need at that point. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm planning my life around it. I'm driving under the influence. At that point, I'm
full on.
I'm unstoppable.
Is it just beer, or is it whatever you can get your hands on?
Mostly whiskey. I'm not a big beer fan.
Oh, wow, you're not messing around, dude.
Yeah.
Straight? Drinking it neat?
Yeah, straight to the Pendleton. No chaser, just just going at it.
Right out of the bottle.
Right out of the bottle.
Dude, that's Winoville, isn't it?
Yeah. Which, at that point, I was in another relationship that it ruined that one. I mean, just straight up ruined that one. I was in a relationship, 2013 to 60-ish, but the drinking ruined that one. And the beginning of that relationship, met her in a bar. That was our connection, right? And she was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "What? You met me in a bar? What do you expect?"
Holy shit! With the amount of alcohol you're consuming.
So at that point we separate. At that point, my brother's single. I'm single. We're living together. We're both hammering it back. Just
How much do you think you're drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking
a pint a day.
Oh, easy. Probably a fifth. Probably a fifth a day at some. I mean, I would go to the point where
wait. The fifth that's a bottle.
Yeah.
That's not the. That's a bottle.
That's a bottle.
Right. Wait. How many fifths in a half a gallon? Two. Holy shit.
And so I'm passing out. My alarm's waking me up. I'm going to work feeling like shit.
Hungover, yeah.
Yeah. I'd immediately get off of work. Boom, straight to the bottle.
Probably got it in your car or your
truck.
No,
at that point, I mean, very seldom did I have it in my vehicle because I knew the ramifications. But
didn't take long after you got home, did it?
No, heck no. That was the first thing. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like I get off at 5.
You're starting to
get at 2 o'clock. I'm like
anxious.
I wish 5 o'clock would come. I wish 5 o'clock. And so
I'm laughing, but
no, it was a serious issue, and I would haul ass home. I would throw it back and just
relief.
So,
but been there.
Mm-hmm.
It's that first one. It's an instant sense of okay.
Yeah, everything's going to be fine.
It is. I'm good now, right? And then do another one.
Yep.
And to me, it was like heaven at the beginning.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right to you? But then I also got to the point where I was like, you've reached this place. This is where you want. This is the place that you wanted to be all day. You're here now. Do you think I stopped?
No.
Because then it's almost like it crescendoed. I've got to that place. Now, any more of this, and we're going down.
Yep.
To where I'm not feeling good anymore.
Yep.
I would start to get depressed.
Yep.
I would get in my head. Sometimes I'd cry, and I'd not stopping.
Yep.
Does that ring a bell to you at all?
100%. That's exactly what it was. And like I said, early days, it was a couple beer, whatever. But they got to the point where one's not enough and one's too many and 100's not enough. Is that?
Yeah.
And I would drink until I just boom, and I would wake up next morning, throw clothes on, go to work, feeling and looking like shit,
hungover.
And it was affecting
everything.
I was doing it. My mind is of the mind that never shuts off. I'm always thinking. I'm always trying to control things that can't be controlled. I worry about stuff that I have no control over. I'm always, so eventually it basically was being used as just shut my mind off. And I would drink so much, I would just, and at that point, I've achieved my goal. I'm passed out. My mind's not working anymore. It's not keeping me awake. It's not, so I was literally using it to just turn it off, escape from my own demons and my own mind and my own, everything. And so actually, going forward, 2000, so that I was a mess from 16 to 18, into 19. So 2019, June of 2019, I get my first DUI. This is the guy that drank and drove for years and years and years. Got my first DUI, which, oh crap, I got caught. Well, this is during COVID. So I go to jail, I bail myself out.
Truck gets impounded.
Oh, and if they, you see the billboards that say a DUI costs $10,000, it's true. A DUI will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. By the time you get out of jail, by the time you get your truck out of impound, by the time you go to the DMV and well, first you got to go to the DMV, get the paper that says you can get your truck out of impound. So this is, bailing myself out was $1,800. That was $400. Bailing the truck out was another $600. Like by the time you even start the next day, you're down $4,000, $3,000, right? Still didn't learn my lesson.
No.
September, so that was like June 9th. September 12th, 13th, I got another DUI. So I've got 2 DUIs in 4 months, right? Or whatever.
That's a felony, isn't it?
No, 3.
Or is it the third one?
3's a felony. So,
which, by the way, didn't that piss you off a little bit? I think the first one should be a felony.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with you people? I don't understand that. How is the first DUI not a felony?
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. If you get a DUI, that means you could actually possibly kill somebody. Why are you going to wait for the third time to give them a felony?
I don't know.
That makes zero sense to me.
And if the punishment was harsher,
you would have not got the second.
Less would have, I wouldn't have.
It is that you pretty much just cost you a lot of money.
Well, it cost me at that point, a felony, you're talking money, job, that would have, but here's the question, if the first one's a felony, how many people would recover? And because to be honest, if the first one was a felony and I lost my job and everything, because my job was all I cared about.
It would have made it worse?
I think it would have made it worse. I would have been in, I don't think I would have allowed me to
figure it out
and go get help. So there's kind of a take there, but the reason, and it's not the reason I got the second one. The reason I got the second one is because I was drinking and driving. But because of COVID, I had not even been to court for the first one.
Dang.
And so, had I got the first one in June and been to court in July and got my punishment and spent my 5 days in jail, do I get the second one? Probably not. But because it was I hadn't even been to court. So by that time, I'm like, whatever, I get the second one, holy shit, I'm done. And this is when I reached out to you.
Do you remember that day?
Yes.
I remember where we were sitting. Up in the front.
Yep.
Where all the books were.
Yep.
Remember?
Yes. Yep.
I will never forget that day. You were broken.
Yep. And that was the, and luckily you had been to my previous employer and gave them a card, and the first thing they did, because after the second one, I said, holy crap, I have an issue. The employer I had was very awesome, and I went in and said, hey, I've got an issue. They said, here you go. They were more than supportive with the time.
They paid you while you were in treatment.
Yeah. But, they did it all. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was the breaking point. The second DUI was what really drove me to reach out and figure out something, because I was going down. And because of that felony on the third, that freaked me out so bad. I'm like, oh, I've got to do something. Right?
Oh, you got a third?
No.
Oh, because you knew the third would be a felony.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so at this point, it's like, whoa. And so that's when I reached out. So 2019, so late September 2019 is when I started recovery at Beacon.
Right after we had just opened up.
Just opened.
Yeah.
For the first time. Which I hate saying for the first time, but I honestly can sit here and say I'm proud that I'm actually proud that I did it a second time. In a sense, I would have loved to have went through once and just been good. But like you said earlier, Beacon has come a long way since I was here in 2019. So
that's right.
2019 we had group and we had therapy. We didn't have.
I don't think we had the neurofeedback.
No, we didn't have neuro. We didn't have
the acupuncture.
We didn't
Did you do acupuncture?
I didn't do acupuncture.
I think we started acupuncture like after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe we were starting to look at that.
But the hypno with Jenny Lynn, like. There's so much here.
The nutrition with Emily.
The nutrition, the doctor.
The amino acids, the omegas.
I'm still taking those. I love those daily. I've got the whole family on them.
Wait, on the omegas?
No, the aminos.
What about the omegas?
No,
We should talk to you about them. I'll give you some samples for the omegas.
I've got some. I went through them and
the omegas?
Yeah. I've went through them all and haven't.
Listen, I'm here to tell you the omega. I'm not taking anything from the aminos.
Yeah.
But those aminos, we're going to get off track for a little bit. But the aminos are only meant to be taken for a spell.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that really. Yeah. We're still figuring out what that spell that length of time. Yeah. But the omegas, these you can take forever.
All the time.
And these.
And so I ran out of those.
So then I'm sending you home with some samples.
Yeah, perfect.
And then I'm going to send you home with some information of who you can talk to.
How do I get them from?
Yeah. And the cool thing about both the aminos and the omegas is because you started taking those while you were here, then you're going to continue to get that price.
Yeah.
Because if you buy these things from, regular, right?
Yeah.
Then it's
definitely set me up with that because I ran out.
Yeah.
But I found all the aminos on another source.
Oh, you're getting aminos from somebody else?
And like I said, the whole family's taking them. Like L-lysine for this,
They work, don't they?
My wife loves them. I love them. The mood change, the thought change. Like, if you don't believe that your brain needs to be fed, you're wrong.
100%.
Find something to feed your brain, whether it's a vitamin, whether it's focus factor, something that's got these amino acids in it, and start using it today because the difference was unreal. I started taking them 2 weeks later. I was I don't want to say different person.
You were, though.
But I felt so different. I thought different.
Yeah.
I focused different.
Let me ask you this.
The whole 9 years.
Because you're talking about after taking the aminos. The ones you got here.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly, is this, you know what I mean? It's very subtle.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, I'm talking different.
I'm thinking
different.
Look, I was just working for 2 hours straight without losing focus. That's never happened, because I would be like, 20 minutes, I got to go walk around, because my office is at home now. So it's like, but now I'm focused for a lot longer.
Let me ask you this, because this is what I experienced. I know somebody, I'm very good friends with somebody, and this friend, she goes. I don't know where she went. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. We didn't have we didn't have any contact for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and this is somebody we talk with regularity, right? So she went and did what she did, and she came back. And I'm thinking the entire time, these things that you've noticed that I noticed, I wonder if anybody else. And she said, Tony, you're different. I'm like, really? How? And she would describe what you just said. I'm like, okay, now my question for you is, did anybody else notice?
Yes, several people. So, no secret, I'm a huge golf addict.
What's your handicap?
I'm a 8 right now, I think. But I don't golf as much as I used to. So at one point I was a 4, but huge golf addict.
Yeah.
So I'm out of the course all the time, and the most the most I got told that was on the course.
With your buds.
People I see once a week, not every day, right? Dude, you've changed. What's your, and I'm like, oh, number one, I'm sober, which none of them were, they were, what? And number two, I'm doing that, and they've like, I just noticed just the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way I make more eye contact, longer eye contact, better eye contact, just as I'm speaking, I'm more engaged than I had been in the
beginning. You're listening to people.
Yeah, I'm listening better. So yes, it was brought up several times from, again, people that I've seen once a week more than every day, but the notice was at home too.
Feels good, don't it?
My wife noticed that I was not doing certain tendencies, just fidgety tendencies or stuff like that. Just now, which one was it? And so my question is, because I was doing neuro, hypno, and amino acids and counseling here. And so after I'm like, which one's making the biggest difference is what I want to know. Was the neuro helping that much? Is it the whole combination?
Yeah. So I got asked that Joe Hiblin, this is a guy that got hired by RFK. Don't think he started yet because of the shutdown.
Right.
But I recently I got the opportunity to fly to D.C. and meet with him personally.
Okay.
And subsequently did a podcast at his home in Lake Tahoe, right? This guy arguably is one of the world's most authorities on this, which is why he got hired by RFK. They were having a meeting, Joe and RFK and a few others, I don't know how many men or women were in this room, but this is RFK getting some smart people, which is Joe is probably the smartest human being that I ever met. And they're having this conversation, and you don't know how much you know about RFK, but he's really big on the nutrition.
Yes.
The guy's a beast, right? I mean, he's... Yep. And so they were having this topic of nutrition. And every time you have a conversation, I'm going to say 95% of the time, if you bring up that nutrition, which is what they were doing, and everybody was talking about the neck down. Joe then said, this is great. I don't know the exact words, but basically, what about nutrition from the neck up? Which is what you just said. And you just also said, you're talking to the people that are listening to this, whatever you're going to do, go get some food for your brain.
Yep, feed it. Because it has made a difference in the last... So I've been doing these consistently since probably February. And like you said, with the amino acids, there's a point where you don't... Because once you start them, you'll actually wake up and man, I need some I need some. Eventually it gets to the point where you stop thinking about needing the amino acids.
Just do it.
Because you've replenished, so you've probably got enough. But I still take them daily. Yep, I still take them daily.
Are these the bottles we gave you?
Yes.
This was the size?
Yep. But I still take them daily just out of habit. I'm a creature of habit.
Well, so I don't know, dude.
Now whether I just flush them out and I don't know, but at least I know that they're there. But
I don't know if it's out of habit versus knowing that, because like you, I had the exact same experience. Like, whoa, I'm different.
Yeah.
I feel calmer.
Yep.
Somebody cuts me off on the freeway. It's like,
Well, I'm the same way. Where I used to be the other way. That would have drove me to drink. Somebody would have cut me off, and I would have thought about it for the 8 hours until I got home, and that would have been my reason to drink. That SOB this morning.
No shit.
And now it's, the stressors are less. I can handle stress so much better. I process the stress better, which I react better. Like, it's just been a game changer.
Well, Brett, it's very difficult for me to to find the right words. Joy, I guess, doesn't know if it does that justice, because the aminos and the omegas came to me. I went to a conference. I got invited to an amino acid conference up in Ohio. I don't know how long ago, and I wasn't going to go. I'm like, I'm not amino acids. What do you know, right? But then someone. You know, because there's a lot of expense. You got to fly to Ohio. You got to get a rental car. You got to go stay in this hotel, which is the same hotel where the conference was, which you know that it wasn't the cheapest hotel. You know, no, it was all expensive. But I met some folks, right? I met some folks. And as you know, did you pay for any of this shit?
No.
And you won't.
Yeah.
If you're in treatment at Beacon Recovery.
Yep.
Nobody's doing this. I shouldn't say nobody, but I don't know of anybody that's doing this.
And I truly believe it's a game changer.
It is. But you said, and that's what Joe asked me. He called me a couple weeks ago, wanting to know, have we noticed? And I'm like, Joe, we have, but I can't tell you if it's just because of the omegas. Because we started doing the aminos and the omegas relatively close to the same period of time. I mean, we started these first.
Yep. So I was probably aminos maybe a month before omega showed up. And so I can tell you sitting here right now that the aminos definitely...
I was the same way.
Yeah. And then the omegas kind of pushed it over the edge, like, boom, there it is. Like the complete package, I think, was...
Well, I mean, if you take into consideration, I don't know if you ever, did you ever do the ketamine?
No.
Right? But we do ketamine.
Yep.
And now I'm seeing these ketamine places pop up all over the place, and I'm like, yeah, you know, welcome to the party.
Yeah.
You know, welcome. I've been here for a hot minute.
Yeah, we've
been doing this from, well, yeah. But we did, when you were here the first time, that's when we first started doing the ketamine with the nasos. Remember the little syringes?
I never did do that.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I
we got off of those, because I'm thinking...
About the time I was leaving, that was coming in.
We brought those in? So, where is Brett now?
Brett is healthy, happy, loves his job, loves his life, loves his family. I don't want to say that the cravings aren't there, but they're so far and few between that I don't even notice them hardly anymore. I'll have a day where it's like, oh man, I could just throw one back, and then that's as far as it goes. Just that little outburst of... So right now, today, it's not a thing. I wake up with knowing that I have that, I'm protecting myself. One thing you'll learn at Beacon is surround yourself with the right people. Keep yourself out of situations that could possibly make you relapse or want you to relapse. So I'm very careful on who I'm with, where I'm going. One of the best things I did was basically let everybody at the golf course knows I'm sober. Don't offer me anything. And they all respected that enough that I don't, because the golf course was one of my biggest. Man, I'm showing up with a fifth, and we're
it's on, baby.
Putting it down.
But wait a minute, because I used to do the same thing. And I used to play. I think my handicap was at a 12 at my height, which
that's good.
That's respectable, right? I mean, I can drive a good 320 yards. Not very straight,
right?
But I can still, yeah. But as I was drinking, it would make my game worse. It wouldn't improve my game. It couldn't have improved your game. You're not John Dady drinking, like that guy. But
so there's and this is going to sound weird. There was a point that I think it helped my golf game
because it relaxed you.
Because I was relaxed.
You got out of your head.
And then as soon as it now we're going down.
Because you kept drinking.
Yep. So I played, the first 5-6 holes. It was all, I was hitting the ball good. I was out of my head. I was relaxed. And then you just nose dive after that. So
your friends, did they stop drinking or they just stopped? offering you.
No, they're still, they still casually drink or whatever, but they don't bring it up to me. They don't, Brad, let's have a shot. They know that I'm sober. I'm not drinking on the course ever again. So they've respected me enough not to do it in front of me or, so they'll have their couple beers in their cart. So which is an awesome group of guys that, like I said, respect it enough that they're not going to pressure me into anything. So.
Well, they're not even going to ask.
Yeah.
And I would suspect that they probably curtail their activity in front of you as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they'll do their shots over here, not over here. So I've gotten a great friend group even on the course and away from the course. I've got, I keep myself out of situations that could potentially put me into a relapse situation.
Well, I think as I'm, putting myself in your shoes, I think other than you and your God, your greatest ally is Jennifer.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
even the other day, and this'll. I'm going to tear up a little bit. My stepdaughter even said the other day, you know what? So awesome, Brett, is I don't worry about you drinking anymore. Like, you've changed so much because she used to just worry about it. My wife worried about it. Everybody worried about Brett's well-being and but she actually said the other day, like, I just don't worry about it anymore.
Is that the one I met at Christmas time?
Yes. And that to me is probably the best thing is she's not scared or concerned that because I was off the rails and I've gotten to a point where, because one thing you lose the most in alcoholism or addiction, period, is trust.
Well, yeah.
It's trust, period, which ruins relationships.
Yeah.
They can't trust you, they're gone. So rebuilding, I've spent this whole year to this point rebuilding trust, rebuilding, confidence that I'm not going to just go off the rail, So hearing that was a huge pat on the back, confirmation that wow, she's not worried. Because I had family and friends so worried so to hear that from one of them is confirmation that I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right things. I'm not only saying this, I'm actually living this. I'm doing it. So that was awesome.
It's the best feeling there is.
Yes.
Because you love her.
Yeah.
Right?
And so at this point, I'm still an addict.
Hold on a sec. I was having a conversation. That dinner you're going to.
Yes.
The Thanksgiving thing we're doing next Sunday, right? That you and Jennifer and the daughter are going with, or who's this you and Jennifer?
Hopefully the daughter. Well, she works nights, so I don't know what her schedule is yet. But.
We're having the guy that's putting this on is in recovery. He works. He's like, I think he's the president of the Alano Club, and he's going to come do that thing.
Yeah.
Right. And we were talking about this subject, and I'm going to disagree with you. Because when I was an addict, right, I was thinking about it pretty much from the moment I woke up.
Right.
Or in this case, that you just said, it's 2 o'clock,
yep.
5 o'clock, cannot get here quick enough. Yeah. That's an addict.
What excuse can I make to leave work early?
Yeah. But you're not there anymore. I'm going to suggest to you that you are not an addict, but that you will be in recovery forever.
Yeah, true.
You
you've got a great point.
Because to me,
I'm in recovery.
We have to use in our world. We are told these things, or hi, I'm Tony, and I'm an addict at these meetings that we go to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're not an addict. That almost makes it seem like that's what defines you.
Yeah.
And what defines you is not the fact that you once were an addict. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or have you ever heard anybody say, well, relapse is a part of recovery?
Yeah,
the hell it is.
Yeah, it should be.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Relapse is a part of relapse. It has absolutely nothing to do with recovery.
Right.
Right? Because you're not an addict anymore, Brett. You are in recovery.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a
Well, I mean, it's the truth.
yeah, and yeah,
You know?
yeah,
You know what? Sometimes this thing that we're doing, that I'm doing here at Beacon, there's been a few times COVID kicked me in the teeth. And I remember, I don't know, 3 or 4 times that I was driving into work to talk to the staff and tell them, I'm done, right? We can't do this anymore. COVID really, and that's, I think, what COVID was for, is to put people like me out of business.
yeah.
That's a conversation for another day. But, and it was a really heavy burden to carry, to be driving into work to tell these people that are paying their mortgages and their car payments, putting food on the table, to tell them, sorry, I can't do it. And then something would happen. I'd get 2 more weeks of funds from somewhere. And the reason I bring this up is because it really makes me, I'm grateful, right? That we were able to stick this thing through, that I was able to be in a position to go knock on your door, because would you be dead right now?
Possible. With what I've been through the last few years, that was definitely part of
Jennifer, when she called me, told me he is going to kill some. I'll never forget this. He almost hit, you almost hit somebody, a relative of y'all's, hers.
Yeah, my nephew.
A kid.
Yeah.
Was he there too when I came to?
No. Well, maybe he was.
I think he might have been. It's her. Is it your nephew or his?
My nephew.
It's your actual nephew. Your brother's kid, if I remember.
Yep.
And she says he's going to kill somebody. I'm not going to suggest that you would have, but damn sure possibility exists.
Yep.
What if I throw in the towel? Then what? And there's where the gratitude lies for me, because we're in a position now where we get to do this, right? And the Bretts of this world get to experience, because we're looking at taking this thing on a national scale. That's what that's our next move, and to provide this program to facilities all across the country. And for that, I'm grateful, because now I've got a guy sitting in front of me, a man, right, that is on his way.
Yep.
Right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to call you out right now. I want to do a phase 2. Did you ever meet Malin? He was in treatment with you. Malin Wilson?
No.
The guy that was huffing? I could have swore.
No.
In any event, I did a podcast with him.
Yeah.
And we were sitting right where you were sitting, and we were talking, and he mentioned something about his wife. She was with him throughout the whole thing. I want to do a phase 2 with you sitting there and Jennifer sitting right there. Okay?
She would love to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because
the only reason she's not here today is because work was crazy. So,
really?
But
well, it worked out, because the first one needs to be with you.
Yeah.
But we often lose sight of a perspective from their side, because their version of everything
is different.
Oh,
yeah. They remember. So my biggest regret is I said and did things in that state that I don't remember doing. She remembers it. She lives with it every day. The mean breath that came out when the whiskey got too much, right? So when I say I'm rebuilding trust and relationships, that's part of that. I said and did things in that state that I would have never done. So, right, which probably every addict in the world can say the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm rebuilding relationships right now based off of stuff I did under the influence that I don't even remember doing. And so it's hard for me to understand how hurt she actually was, because I woke up the next day like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do that. Like, so, but she's definitely got a different perspective, I'm sure.
I think it's important for the people that are listening to these podcasts that we do to not only hear, and that's what happened with Malin. There was a thing where he was telling me basically his story, and then he brought his wife in. I'm like, wait, was she there from the beginning? Right? And he was like, yeah. Ding. we got to hear the spouse's perspectives, because their viewpoint is completely different.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say completely, but it's different. So what we'll do is we'll do a part 2, right? We'll get that set up when we leave here, and we'll hear her perspective. I mean, you're going to be here, but it's basically going to be her.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I
you
think
need
she
to
would
be
love
here
to.
because you did what you just need to.
Yep.
So, what do you want to say to anybody that's sitting at their computer screen, sipping a nip, thinking like you thought, I'm doing this and I know I shouldn't?
Yeah.
What do you say to that person?
I would say put your pride aside, be vulnerable, reach out. You have somebody that cares. You have somebody that loves you. If you don't, I would say do it for, number one, do it for yourself, because it won't work if you don't do it for yourself. But keep in mind everybody that's in your wake. I kind of liken it to driving down the road, hitting everything, but never looking in the rear view. All that trauma that you've left behind you, look in the rear view and realize all the trauma you're leaving behind you, from family to friends to coworkers to random people. So reach out, be vulnerable, and get some help. Because it'll change your life.
Yeah.
You'll be able to hopefully rebuild those relationships, and at the end of the day, you're happier. I'm happier. I wake up happier. I go to bed happier. I'm not chained to a bottle that literally made my life miserable for 8 years or longer.
But at the end of the day, how has that changed your relationship with Brett?
Oh, 100%.
Because that's the number one relationship,
100%.
Right?
I came in here hating myself, hating my life.
Both times.
Both times. The first time I graduated, I didn't have the same support and circumstances to remain sober. I was single. I was living with my brother. Like, circumstances were different. I did relapse. I went right back into it. The second time around, I have so much more than, to be sober for, to live for. But as far as myself, I am confident in myself now. I'm happy. I'm pursuing a different career option that I wouldn't have before because I was not good enough. I was, all those things I told myself held me back from being who I am right now.
Limiting beliefs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was points, and suicide's a hard thing to even talk about, but there were so many points in that that I wasn't good enough. I should just be gone. I thought about it constantly.
It'd be easier.
Oh, 100%.
Thought about it myself.
I've thought about it a million times, and to be where I am today through everything I've been through, I've been through a lot in the last couple of years, with suicide and family members, and to really be where I am today with the mind I have now, the clarity I have now, I can't imagine not being here, where for a long time I was telling myself, just do it. You'd be better off. Your family would be better off. Look how concerned they are. Look at the trouble you're causing. So instead of fixing the relationships and, instead of becoming sober and fixing relationships, my thought was,
check out.
Yeah, check out. And so, yeah, just
and I keep
reach out.
I keep throwing words out there to actually complete your sentence, but the reason and I'm not trying to be rude.
No, you're good.
But because as you're saying these things, I'm finding myself being in that same spot and saying these words because, and I've done that a couple times because I've been there and I know exactly what you're talking about because I have always, look, man, I got a 9 mil.
Yep.
It's right there.
Boom.
And it's instant what I think is going to be relief, but there's no reward in that.
No. That's a temporary solution.
It's more than a temporary solution.
Well, that's a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, because wherever I go from that, it's not going to be as good as if I just let this thing play itself out and learn. And we can take these experiences. You know, I watched Robert Downey Jr. give an acceptance speech for something. And there's all these movie people out there, and Mel Gibson was standing.
I've seen that one.
Hugging the cactus.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he said?
He basically thanked Mel for taking him in and getting him sober.
But teaching him how to hug the cactus.
Yep.
Meaning, these tough times that makes me want to take the 9 mil and do this, don't do that. It's going to hurt. Bring it in, man. Because when you get done doing that, and you get through that, you can then do what you and I are doing right now. And we can be an influence on other people in their lives to tell them, you know, I've been where you are, brother. I've been there. You know, I'll end it with this. I read an article about these people that had, and I've mentioned this multiple times, I think. I don't know if I've done it on the podcast. But they were studying people that had jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge. Right? Some of them said a prayer on the way down. Oh, I want a do-over, and got a do-over, and didn't end up dying. But this study was about a man that did in fact die. And they went to his home, and they found a little note that said, I'm going to walk to the Golden Gate Bridge to end my life. Unless if en route to the Golden Gate Bridge to do these things, or this thing, someone smiles at me. That's it. Well, nobody did.
Jeez.
So what we get to do, Brett,
just smile,
is be kind.
That's what the world needs right now, is kindness and love. The world is so crazy right now. Just be kind.
Listen. So the next day, I'm in Costco. You know, they got all that junk in the beginning at the front, right? That stuff. So there's these aisles, and I'm walking in, and there's a lady that's coming this way, and our carts do this, and we do that little dance of, you know. So I'm like, no, you know, go ahead. I let her go.
Yeah.
She's in front of me, and I ram the shit out of her cart with my cart, right? I mean, it was a good ram too, right? And she looked at me, and we just had an absolute ball. It was so much fun, right? What if that lady woke up saying, I'm going to off myself this day? Unless somebody notices me, unless somebody's kind to me.
Yep.
And that's what I get to do. And, you know, 95% of the time I have really good exchanges, and I know you do as well, because you've got that personality, right? Because you can take your experiences, like you've shared with me, at the golf course. Hey, you're different. Yeah, I'm clean. I'm sober. So I thank you, Brett, for taking on your life a second time, right?